Welcome back. Space Invaders TV, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Rashawn, aka Looker. Today is December the 23rd, 2021. I want to welcome you all. Peace be with you all. As the holidays are nearing, we got 2 days for Christmas, and then New Year's is coming right up on after that. I hope that everyone is finding themselves in a good place and keeping their spirits high and everything. And I hope they enjoy the holidays if you celebrate Christmas or what have you. Or I hope that you enjoy it, and peace be with you and your family. So moving on, right? Y'all see the title. We're gonna talk about Kimberly Potter, the officer who killed the young man Daunte Wright back in April of 2021 during a traffic stop in Brooklyn Center in Minnesota. We're going to talk about that, but first I want to go in and talk about, as I spoke early on, I've been talking like every week during this school year, during this 2021 school year, every week there's been a superintendent getting fired or suspended since August of 2021. Because some schools around the country, like in the South, they start back in August. Although you have some schools that's year round, but you have some schools that go back in August, and then other states go back in and start in September. So ever since August of this year, there's been superintendents getting fired and just stepping down for whatever reason. And this one, what I'm going to talk about, I got about four, well actually three superintendents we're going to talk about right now around the country. So this one is out of Detroit. This superintendent name is Benjamin Edmondson, and he's blowing the whistle on his district, Romulus Community Schools. He filed a harassment and racial discrimination lawsuit against the district and school board, saying he was placed on indefinite leave and replaced with a less qualified person. Now, Mr. Benjamin Edmondson, the superintendent, once again, of Romulus Community Schools down in Detroit, Detroit, Michigan to be exact, his story is no short of nothing. I've been hearing the same thing. Superintendents have been getting fired around the country for like these same issues right here. Some, others. Parents have not been happy with the superintendents in their counties, and they've been stepping up and getting them out of there as they should. The parents haven't been pleased with them, and they're getting them out of there. But then you have these issues where there's been, this is not the first one. You could just Google yourself and look up superintendents that have been fired or stepped down just this school year, and you think about it. This is just, so you thinking about like August, September, October, November, December. You thinking 4 months, okay, the school year. And down to the wire. This is pretty much, we looking at the last weeks of the year of 2021, and this is going down to the wire, where it's like superintendents are getting fired and quitting. So it's like, and then some, you never really know what the issue is. It's like unclear why a superintendent or schools is getting fired. You never know. So moving on with that, and if you want to catch up on that story, you can go to Detroit News. Uh, that's the newspaper in Detroit, Michigan. You can go to Detroit News and you can get that story. Another one coming out of Michigan. This is also on Detroit's news. This is their newspaper. So y'all remember the Oxford, Michigan, the shooting that happened down there. So this superintendent here, his name was Timothy Throne, the superintendent of Oxford Community Schools. Now he was set to uh, retire in January of 2022, and Timothy Throne says that he's gonna retract. He's retracting that and saying that he's not. He's gonna delay his retirement because he feels that what took place at the Oxford High School, he felt that it's bad timing if he steps down right now. And my thing is this, Timothy Throne. Uh, no, you should go ahead and step down, Mr. Throne. Um, you're part of the reason why that issue really did happen at Oxford. With many of the superintendents around this country, when we have these shootings in these schools and you seeing what's happening around the country, you would think that you would counter that and jump in front of the issues. When you seeing these things, it's a trend happening around the country with kids bringing guns into school and shootings and all of these things and threats about shooting up the school. You would think that these superintendents would take heed and jump in front of the bullet. The same way as I can see it in the media and read it, the same way you all watching me right now can see it and read it in the media about these school shootings and things of that nature, and just threats, period. Even if it's not a shooting, just the threats. The same way these superintendents hearing it as well around the country. And you wondering, why aren't you being proactive and jumping in front of the bullet and getting ahead of this thing, period, and just, combating this? They all sit back and they twiddle their fingers. It goes back to the story of why Meadow died. You know, um, with the incident that happened down at the high school back in Florida. You know what I'm saying? It's like they sit there and they leave these children as sitting ducks. And I'm not gonna harp on it because I spoke about it before, but yeah, Timothy Throne, you should go ahead and retire. I don't think that in your story you were saying something about the parents have been asking you if you're gonna stay. You're part of the problem, Timothy. I don't think you need to stay. I think you need to go ahead and maybe you need to get a superintendent to come through there to the Oxford school district and that wants to do right by the children. So no, Timothy, you should go ahead and retire. There's no need for you to hang around because you didn't do anything. You could have done something. You could have fixed that. There's been multiple shootings around the country, and you didn't jump in front of bullet. And there was many issues, many telltale signs that led up to that shooting at Oxford. And you or no one did anything about it. The young man had issues. There were often threats, as reports said. It was often threats. You had one of the kids, you know, speak speak to media, and after the shooting in Oxford, one of the seniors at the school, and they spoke and they talked about how, there were often threats of uh, someone threatening to shoot up the school, a student threatening that there was the what was that, a cow or something, some animal. They cut the head off and threw it off the roof. Something crazy. So there were many instances. Even the principal, he was threatened at Oxford High School. His life was threatened. So there was many incidents that happened, and no one jumped in front of that, and no one was even just proactive in trying to 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 combat this thing. This thing that could have been prevented in Oxford. Okay, so now Timothy, you should just go on about your business, man. You shouldn't stay. You're part of the problem, buddy. You gotta learn. We gotta learn how to eliminate problems, and you one of them. You should just go on ahead, buddy, and step down. So now we move over to we move over to Monroe School District in Monroe, Washington, and you have a superintendent there that's been placed on administrative leave. Um, Parents and teachers and everyone, this superintendent, uh, it's been called for his removal. His name is Dr. Justin Blasco of Monroe School District Superintendent. He's placed on administrative leave by the school board following calls for his resignation. Uh, this is their local news K5 up in Monroe, Washington. School board members met Friday to review Blasco's performance. Kim Wilfworth will be acting superintendent while Blasco is on leave. Yeah, he. Let's see here. He's just been allowing a lot of racist things to go on, a lot of discriminative activity up there. Um, let me read real brief. It says here in the article, our students don't feel safe and welcome in our schools. Robin Hayesky, a sixth grade teacher, previously told King 5. She and others allege there's been years long pattern of racism, hate, and discrimination in their schools in the form of students targeting other students, and they say school leaders have largely looked the other way. We've had more incidents, more visible incidents of hate in our schools, and we as educators and community members feel that it's our duty and priority to come out and be a voice for our students, Hayashi said. So yeah, this guy, he needs to be out of there. You know, um, I just don't understand like why aren't we not making sure our students are safe? Why is these adults that are in these positions to make sure not only the students are getting a quality education, but being safe, knowing that they can come if they can't come nowhere else, they should be able to come to school and be safe and be comfortable and be able to learn and thrive. You know, uh, with all of this BS and you got a lot of these people, some of these people like this Blasco guy up there in Monroe, the superintendent up in Monroe, Washington. You got people like this guy that's a racist and hides behind it and gets kicks and giggles out of seeing uh, the bullying and all of this and negative behavior and get kicks and turn the cheek when he hears about weapons being brought into schools in his school district. You know, uh, you got to get these undercovers out of there like that. These undercover racist folks, man. Once they show us their hand, you got to get them out of there. I don't even know why they're reviewing anything with this guy. If teachers and parents and everybody's been complaining about this superintendent not stepping up and people contacting him to do something and put some things in place, and he hasn't done it, I don't know why he's still. What are we talking about? You know, get him the freak up out of there. You know, um, as we wind down this year and we go into the new year, we gotta we gotta turn the page and turn you know yeah, we got to turn the page. Ain't no other way. I ain't about to even find another word for it. We just got to turn the page and we got to move forward on a positive level. And when we talking about this school system, and a lot of you know how adamant and how strong I feel about these school systems and the things that we seeing, and it's right in our face. And I don't even know how, if you're in the current events, it should be alarming to you. especially if if you're fond of education, you and you have a child in the education system wherever in this country or wherever on this earth, it should alarm you. You know, when you seeing these things and hearing these things about adults that are in positions and they're allowing behaviors when they are in position to push the button to stop a lot of behaviors in these districts around the country. But again, it goes back to a whole lot of things. And if you go back and look at a lot of my footage when it, it's a whole agenda. I'm just gonna say that it's a whole agenda, you know, and it's all about money. These folks don't care. They don't look at the education system as they once did. You know, they just don't. They just don't. They just don't. They really don't view what I mean. You know, the lower income areas always got the lower end of the stick, but a lot of the benefits, a lot of the funding that come to a lot of schools, a lot of cities, be it be because the low income neighborhoods in a certain city getting funding. Excuse me. So the low income districts, the schools that sit in low income areas in the city, they get more funding. Okay, and it's just funny to me how they're always last. They don't get anything, and it just amazes me. And then they put these people in place. They put certain people. They put superintendents in place, and they don't make it. They don't make it no better. They don't make it no better. You have superintendents around the country that are nothing more than secretaries to the boards, to the school boards. That's what they are. They are there to they are appointed to come in there and do a job and do it to the best of their ability. So what I'm saying is most of these superintendents around the country are not doing the job to actually they're doing it to the best of their ability. That's actually, you know what, that's what we're getting. They're doing it to the best of their ability. And that's just it. And it stops at a certain point. So just like this Blesco guy up there in Monroe, Washington, get him out of there. Just like the superintendent in Oxford, Timothy Throne, he's talking about, oh, he's gonna he's gonna cancel his he's gonna hold off on his retirement. Nah, man, you should exit. You should stage left. Just go on, man. You know what I mean? There's no need for you to stay. It's not like you were doing anything anyway. You had a big issue. You should want to leave anyway. And he says, oh, the people want him to stay. And I'm like, the people want you to stay? Really? Really? There were lives lost, children lives lost, others injured, others that are going to be mentally. This is all from one high school in your district. Who wants you to stay? Listen, I'm gonna run down something too. I seen an article and they talked about how Nevada is ranked number 49, number two, the number two worst uh, school district in the country, and and Honolulu is Nevada. Las Vegas is ranked 49. Honolulu is ranked 50, and it's just, I mean, it's just crazy to me. Then you have Raleigh, North Carolina, ranked 48. Baltimore, ranked 47. Salt Lake City, Utah, ranked 46. Richmond, ranked 45. Birmingham, Alabama, ranked 44. San Francisco, ranked 43. Philadelphia, ranked 42. Milwaukee, ranked 41. Hartford, Connecticut, ranked 40. So we just wonder, and I wonder, like, what all of the funding that the government has given out this year towards education. And let's be clear, and let's be really clear too. There's been money even given out even during the Obama administration for education. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out when are they going to start putting this funding to use and these resources. We can't continue to say, like, you know, we want to compete with the world. We want to stay competitive. We want to stay on top. We can't be on top when we got, like, you look at somewhere like Honolulu, right? You look at somewhere like Hawaii and you think, like, wow, okay, it costs us a lot to go there and just, for leisure. It costs us. If you ever been there, it's a little penny, man, to visit there. So you wonder, there's a lot of money thrown into the tourism and everything, you know. So you wonder, like, hey, man, well, what about the education system? Some people might say, oh, those two different things. No, what about your education system? Okay? Same thing with Vegas. There's a lot of money coming in that desert, man. There's a lot of casinos. There's a lot of money there. What's up with the education? Why you can't get funding? If you can't get it from nowhere else, you got all these casinos. There's big money coming through there. Big money, big money. That's another top. Vegas and Hawaii are two top tourist locations. Okay, destinations, I should say. What's the problem? You know, what's the problem? Then we know Baltimore for years. You've heard, all the issues with them. So it's like, from everything with Baltimore, you heard about their government. Their local government is like all like, you just heard the crooked issues and everything, man. Like, I mean, it's just crazy there. Then you think like Salt Lake City, Utah. Come on, man. There's a lot of big money come through there too, especially during the winter time. So when I see this and look at some of these states, I just wonder, like, come on, man. Like, some of you, these are top tourist spots, man. What's really going on? Then you gotta step back and wonder, like, okay, there's some going on in their local governments, and then you think about Birmingham, Alabama, and you're saying, like, okay, come on, we still gonna be down at the bottom, you still gonna be, come on now. This should be, we're in a new day and a new time. Like, why are we still sitting where we sitting at when we talking about education? Education should be number one. I mean, how we expect to continue to keep having good engineers, doctors, lawyers, the whole medical and law field. How do we continue to have? How are we gonna continue to compete as a country in the professional levels if we're gonna continue to keep our schools ranked where they are? We can't continue to harp on and we can't continue to be so proud of our universities, our colleges and universities, the HBCUs and what and your traditional college universities. We can't continue to keep bigging them up. We first gotta start. We gotta start with our K through 12, man. We gotta make sure they straight there, and that's all around the board with the teachers. We gotta make sure they're straight. We gotta make sure you giving the teachers all that they need to teach these children. We gotta make sure we gotta give the teachers the ammunition to do what they need to do. And let's stop teaching these kids and confusing them You know, the way they're teaching them with this Eureka math and all of this, and going all around the corner, all around the world, just to get a simple 2 plus 2 answer. Like, let's just stop the BS and let's meet once again, as I've always said, let's meet these students where they stand. Let's present the things that's needed to show these children. Introduce banking into the schools. Even though us as parents, we can introduce, and we should introduce our own children. You should be doing that. But the school also introduce banking. Introduce how to 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 use the computer to fill out for jobs. This should be in grammar school. Okay? This should be being taught how to be entrepreneurs, you know, owners. You know what I mean? Um, let's concentrate on the things, the web, the World Wide Web, the importance of this today. Yesterday it wasn't so important. This wasn't an important topic in the 90s. The World Wide Web, people were still figuring it out. It was still developing. It was still growing. But today, everyone uses it. Businesses use it for marketing. You know, a lot of people today are using it and don't really know the importance and understand what social media is really about. You know, what it has turned it into, to me, is something that what it's turned into is something that a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand the internet, so it turned it into something totally different. The social media, they turned it into something else where it's supposed to be a social networking type of thing. You know, you're being connected to people all across the globe, and people are using it wrong. You know, so it should be, and people are putting too much personal out there, and they're not understanding it. So it's like you need to teach that, and meeting these, like I said, meet these children where they stand. You have some kids today that are making buttloads of money off of playing video games because they got it. They understood the internet. They understood this technology age. They got it. Their parents seen something and made sure they focused in on that and said, hey, if you're gonna play these games, you can make some money. You know, if you're gonna sit here and play these games, how about trying to make some money? You know, so it's a lot of things that need to be taught in the school system, and the traditional way of learning needs to be kicked out of the window, man. Like you don't need it. So yeah, we're gonna move on, and I want to move on to this the Kim Potter, uh, the Brooklyn Center, the ex Brooklyn Center officer that murdered Daunte Wright, the young man, 20 years old, down in Minnesota, and so right now they're in deliberations right now, and so hopefully today we may get a verdict back. But after listening to the defense for Potter and closing arguments on the 21st, on December the 21st, I was mystified, as all of these murder cases with these cops have me, against the citizens. They argue one minute that she had the right to use deadly force, Kim Potter, right? And then because Daunte Wright threatened her, right? Then they by trying to slither away from them and get back in the car, right? And then yeah, they said that he threatened her life and the other officer's life. And I'm thinking, like, this kid is a slim kid, and how was he threatening the life of 4 officers? He had no weapon or anything. So how did he threaten 4 officers' lives? We gotta stop allowing these officers to use that. all the time when they think it's convenient for them, because it's like, hey, we looking at a video. This guy, this little kid, he's slim, and there's four of you grown adults there. How did he threaten your life? Because he tried to get away from you. He tried to elude you. Let's say that. Don't say that he threatened your life. He tried to elude you. Um, and then, her defense, Kim Potter's defense goes on to say she didn't know and shouldn't have known that she pulled her gun instead of her taser. So my thing is, let's see here. Your gun is on one side. Whether your gun's on your right side and your taser's on your left side, whatever the case, or vice versa, whatever the case is, anybody with common sense knows your service weapon is going to be on one side and that taser is going to be on the other side. It's going to be that way for a reason, so you won't have those screw ups right there. That's why you're going to have it on the opposite side of you, and you should know where that weapon, which weapon you're reaching for. I'm trying to understand how, officer, you're training someone. So if you've been on the force for 27, 30 years or whatever, they said Kim Potter was on the force for, I think it was 27 years, something. I could be off. Y'all could correct me. You mean to tell me you don't know which side? You didn't know? You couldn't tell when you picked it up that, oh, this is heavier than my taser. I know freaking well that your taser ain't heavier than your gun, than your service weapon. So you couldn't feel that? Again, her defense, Kim Potter's defense, Earl Gray, her attorney, one of her attorneys, says, and I quote, "My God, she made a mistake." Earl, you don't take nobody's life and say you made a mistake. You step on somebody's foot, you made a mistake. You're rushing and you bump somebody. You bump somebody in the mix of you rushing to get on the elevator, or just rushing to jump to catch a bus or something, or you're just walking past somebody in a building and it's really crowded and you bump somebody, you make mistakes. Sometimes we say things to people that we shouldn't say in a certain manner. We make mistakes, but taking someone's life, you don't make you can't say that's a mistake. Okay, you can't say that's a mistake, especially not when you are a police officer. You are supposed to be trained. You are supposed to know. You just supposed to carry. You supposed to carry yourself in a manner that you're supposed to uphold that badge, and you're supposed to hold yourself to a certain standard. Okay, you are supposed to be perfect. You know why you're supposed to be. I wouldn't say perfect, but you know why you're supposed to be flawless in that position, because you are walking around with a weapon that can take somebody's life in a blink, just like Kimberly Potter took that young man Daunte Wright's life. Okay, for no reason at all. And then my thing is, when you watch the video, right? Because you come here on YouTube and watch the video, right? And you can see she's shooting, right? And my question is, when I can't remember how many times she offloaded her weapon into Daunte Wright. I want to say it was 3 times. But my whole thing is, if this was a mistake, right? All right. Let's just say hypothetically, okay, when she first shot him, okay, when she shot him, when the first bullet exited that gun, right, and she's yelling, "Taser, taser!" Now, your taser goes, what has the electric shock sounds. Now you don't hear that. You hear pop, pop, pop. So you keep doing it. So after the first one, if you thought that was a taser, you're gonna stop, right? Now I can say, okay, yeah, you can get off. she probably get off of that because she stopped automatically. Holy shit! I pulled the wrong weapon, and she stopped immediately. Stopped. But no, she kept on, and then it was like it wasn't until she shot the kid, and I guess his foot pressed the gas, and then they took off, and it was his girlfriend was in the car with him too, and they went taking off down the road and crashed. It wasn't until after that minute when the car rolled off, she falls to the ground, and you see the camera, and she says, "Oh my God, I shot him! Oh my God!" So you didn't notice that when you first pulled your weapon, and then that first bullet came out, Miss Potter. You didn't notice that. We gotta stop playing games and get to the real shit. Because like if you make a mistake, you can say, "Oh, that's not a mistake." But if you shot one bullet, Miss Potter, and backed up, after recognized. But I got to the point. I said, "So what? Did you just did you black out because he tried to slither between you guys, so you blacked out?" Wow, what kind of training you supposed to? You was training somebody. You had a trainee with you, and how you supposed to train somebody? What kind of training you were doing that day? Because you grabbing the wrong weapon. It sounds like they had the wrong person training. No matter how many years you've been on the force, you still ain't. You gonna tell us that you don't know what side your service weapon was versus your taser. You're gonna say that. I watched you sit on that stand and act freaking stupid. But you've been on the force for 27 years. You knew more than that rookie is supposed to know. It is no way in hell I'm gonna believe that woman did not know what side her taser was on. I'm gonna tell you what happened. Because since they say that Kim Potter never really pulled her, she never had shot no one, she never really had to use her taser. I'm gonna tell you what happened then. Well, she was 27 years on the force, but still had a rookie mentality. That's what that was. She was 27 years on the force and still had a rookie mentality. Now, let that sit with y'all for a minute. So that's what we gonna say then. So she had the years don't even matter because she still had a rookie mentality. And I still call them rookies no matter how many years you've been on the force. If you out here doing rookie stuff, just shooting at people and you don't know how to control yourself, and the first thing you can say is, "Oh, I shot him because I feared my life." You shooting people with no weapons. That's some rookie shit. Like, so the number of years you've been on the force means nothing. That's some rookie shit. And I'm sorry for the profanity, but I just gotta call it what it is. And I'm just so tired of seeing these videos with these cop shooters, and you are supposed to hold yourself to a certain standard. And my thing is, if you're so scared and you're out here in these streets, then you should pick a different profession. That wasn't a profession for you. Maybe you should go be a firefighter. Maybe, and I'm not disrespecting firefighters in no way. Big ups to all the firefighters, man. That's one hell of a job. But what I'm just saying is, you need to pick something where you're not scared of someone, because you being an officer, you need to be able to be around and understand the different people you're dealing with. You should be ready for certain things. You should know how to react in situations. And how are you training somebody on how they should be reacting, and then you're the trainer and the trainer fucking derails? How does that happen? And then she falls to the ground like, "Oh my God, I did." That was a whole rookie damn move. And I said, man, this chick's a great actor. I'm like, you don't take somebody's life and say it was a mistake. How do you take somebody's life and go to their family and say, Oh, it was a mistake. What? Like what? Come on, man. Come on, man. People mistake and give. You go get food. You go get takeout or something like that. People could mistake and give you the wrong order. You may be working at it. You may be working in a restaurant, and you you may give somebody the wrong change. I don't know. Whatever. People make those mistakes. Those mistakes that could be fixed. There is no life taken. When you take somebody's life and you say that's a mistake, I just gotta look at you with a blank stare, and it lets me know immediately when I hear those things. There's a few things that I hear when they hear about these cop shootings. I fear my life. I fear for my life. They fear for their life with someone who had no weapon. It was a mistake, and I thought he had, or I thought she had, a weapon. When I hear those things right there, rookie screams all out to me. I don't care what, you know. And on top of that, then I hear like bullshit, you know, like, come on, man, you gotta find some other type of excuses. I mean, because it's like everybody was using the same excuse. Every time you hear these cop shootings, everybody use these excuses. And I know people will go on and people will say, yeah, well, we talk about these cop shootings, but what about this black on black crime? What about when we shooting each other? We ain't talking about that right now. And on top of that, um, if people feel that way, you feeling that way. If you see something, say something. Stop. If you feel that way, when somebody talking about stop snitching, uh, you should say why. You know what I'm saying? If you feel that way, you know, only people want justice when it happens to them. Most people, and then that's when everybody wants to say, "Oh, we gotta stop. We need to start doing this and that." No, we need to be doing it all the time. So that's my stance on that black on black crime. Nah, we shouldn't. No, we shouldn't be. You know, um, the environments we in, we got people that never been out of their cities, people that never been out of their neighborhood, people that live in a 20-block neighborhood radius. People may live like a 2-mile radius. They never been on the other side of their city. This is not an opinion. This is not no BS. This is fact. A lot of people never been out of their city, man. And if you know, so they become part of the environment, and it becomes a dog eat dog world. So then we get that crime, that black on black thing. It's like, oh, they see somebody over here making money, they want to go get them because they ain't got none, and it's it's a whole lot of stuff we could go down a rabbit hole with that, and it's the environment with that to start off with, you know, and that's just that, you know, that's a whole nother conversation, and that's a conversation that many have had. But to keep it real when it comes to that, it's like, okay, people run around and they say to stop snitching. They say, um, well, you don't hear that term no more. Snitches get stitches and all of that, but he's a snitch, he's a rat, informant. You hear all these things when you know it doesn't have nothing to do with certain people. But then when if something happens to somebody, family member, then you hear those same folks will turn around and they want justice. And but those same folks, you will hear them yell, stop snitching. Snitches can't live around here, you know. But when something happened to they folks, they want justice. You can't tell me in a freaking person that if something happened to their family member, you mean to tell me, you know, they ain't gonna want justice for their family member that's been taken off the earth, you know, regardless of what it is and how they lived. You understand me? So, um, but like I said, it's to each his own with all of that, man. Um, that's a whole thing where I don't live that lifestyle. You know what I mean? I'm not in that lifestyle. I'm not in that world anymore. So I can't really, you know what I'm saying, get, get down and talk a lot of that stuff, man. I'm a regular citizen, taxpayer, man, and for a long time now, for years now. So I can't talk that talk, and but all I can say is that is the environment, and it's a dog eat dog world in that environment. But back to Kim Potter, because I'm sorry to stray off, but I had to go there because I know how some people they want to when we talk about this cop killings, they always want to say when there's a black person talking about cop killings, they always want to say, "Oh, yeah, but you got black on black crime." Dead that we just I just explained what that is, and that's something eternally that we as a black community gotta fix eternally. You know what I mean? Um, and it could be fixed. But these cop killings, and the difference is these cops are supposed to serve and protect the community. You got these cops that have gotten out of hand, and then you got a lot of these cops that they're actually scared, man. They never been, they never been around certain groups of people. They don't know how to, they don't know how to act. That's something that they can't teach them in training. You got to be a people's person. And if you're not a people's person, and then the end result is what we've seen with these cop killings. If they're not a people's person, and they don't have respect for other human life, and they think that are uh, they are the superior, and they think that they are the law, that like they are to enforce the law. They're not the law. The police officers are to enforce the law. They are not the law. So when you have these folks like that with these mentalities, you know, and then if they don't come from the communities, that's another big thing. You're not hearing a bunch of black cops shooting black kids or white kids or Asian kids or what I'm saying, Italian kids or Jewish kids. You're not hearing that. Who are we hearing the most who are doing it? And then the excuses after it's done. And it just bugs me out that how I can hear the attorneys for these officers, the way they talk and try to make it like it's like, no, really, like your client just killed someone for no reason. Once again, I go back to Kim Potter's lawyer, uh, Earl Gray, and he made a statement on December 21st in the closing arguments, and he's saying like she made a mistake, and uh, should she have known that her taser, which side her taser was, and should she have known the weight, and she's never done anything. She's had a impeccable record. She never had to pull her gun and shoot anybody. She never did this and that. And I say to myself, like, dude, you and I'm listening to him, and it lets me know like people like him are how out of touch they are, and how like they have no regard for human life. Just from the way that, okay, you got a job to do, you're defending your client, okay? That's understandable. You got a job to do. But the things that they say, when I listen to even the mindset of their own, like some of these cops, their defense teams, when I listen to them, and I'm like, wow, just the way that they're even wording what they're saying is letting me know like we're in a bad place because people have no regard. I don't care what colors. Like, a lot of people don't have no regard for human life, man. Black, white, green, purple. It's like they don't have regard for human life. No respect, no decency. Like it's just an all out wild west, man. you know. But yeah, that's just my time, folks. And once again, this is Space Invaders TV. I'm your host, Rashawn. Um, this is December the 23rd, 2021. We coming towards to the end of the year. We down to the wire now, and this will be the last show for the year. I'll come back the first week, the first Thursday of 2022. I'll be back with a new show. Um, I'm gonna shut it down. This show right here, this will be for the year, my 118th show. So and I just hope that whatever your plans is for the new year, whatever plans you have for 2022, I hope that it comes into fruition. I hope that everybody keeps their head above the water and keep a goal, keep goals, and keep striving for them, and keep getting better than you were the last year. And try not to let the troubles of this year, try not to take too much of it into the new year with you, and keep going up higher. You know, elevate. That's what it's always about. Um, to all my subscribers, all my new subscribers I've gained this year. I don't have many of y'all, but we growing, and it's organically. That's why my subscribers are growing slow, because it's organically. I'm not paying for subscribers. It's all organically. It's all through word of mouth, and it's all through you folks, coming across my content and liking what I'm speaking about. And it's just gonna keep on growing. I'd rather each one teach one. I'd rather gain one member at a time, and that I know that is real, than to gain some electronics that I don't even know, electronically generated subscription that I don't even know if they real or not. But I know that all of you guys that have subscribed with me this year so far feel real, and I just ask that you continue to keep sharing the content. Don't hold it for yourself. Share it with your people, your friends, your family, and everything, because that's what this is about. We speak about local, national, and world events. Well, not events, current events, I should say. We don't speak on uh, no music, entertainment industry. We talk about current events, things that's going on around and around the country, that's affecting and many of us. And there's a lot of issues I don't get to touch on. Um, it's so much be happening. So that's why you see me at times, and I make sure that I continue to talk about the education, because I feel, compelled to do that, and I feel deeply about that. So you'll always hear me talk about the education system. Um, if nothing else, you'll always hear me talk about that, and just talking about different things that's going on in the world. Period. So next year we're gonna turn up, and we're just gonna keep going up and getting better. So for now, peace and blessings to all of you. I'll see y'all in 2022. Y'all stay safe. Until next time, this Space Invaders. I'm your host, Rashawn, aka Looker. If you got any comments, questions, drop your comments and questions at the bottom of this show here. And if you got any other questions and things, if you need to contact us for like any merch or anything, you can hit us up as Space Invaders. It's SPYCEINVADERZ at yahoo.com. And yeah. So anything, if you ever see me wearing a shirt and you may like it or whatever, or the hat or whatever, yeah, drop me an email, and yeah, we'll get you hooked up. Until then, I'll see y'all next time. See y'all on the other side in 2022. Later.